Well, let's fix this. Stupid. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Adventure 50 community. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. I see we have Ground Fog in the house. We've got KRJGD in the house. Marco Yee. Wyoming Adventures in the house. East Coast Ghost. Let me see if I can do this for a second. I cannot. Go back. Sorry, guys. All right. I want to see if I can pin. It won't let me. Okay. Oh, will it? Will it? No. Okay. Sorry. Bill York, hello there, channel member. KR Knives, channel member. Ramses Silent, channel member. Apex Carry, EDC, welcome in. Cicero, channel member. Ginger Fisher, 75, channel member. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, folks. So, just so everybody knows, tonight is the monthly giveaway. East Coast Ghost put the link in the chat right there. So, if you haven't entered the video, please do. There weren't a lot of comments on it, so you got a good shot at winning. That's all I could say. But I also have in the description is the link for the comment video. So, Mr. Simon, welcome in. Very cool. I hope people pour in right now because we got Aries ending. I know Salvo, not Salvo's end. I'm sorry. Sever 7, he's ending at this point. So I hope we get a bunch of people in here. And welcome in. I don't think I've seen you here before, so that's pretty awesome. Silver Trails Outdoors, hello there. Salvo Zen, I think I just said hello to you, but maybe I didn't. But Salvo Zen, welcome in, channel member. So again, today is the monthly knife giveaway for the members. And that's pretty cool. I got something pretty cool I found that it's a knife I already didn't know anything about. So it's kind of cool. And we'll go from there. So right now we've got 12 people in the chat, 15 likes. So we have more likes than we have people in the chat. I've scared away that many people already. Come on now. So, I just realized mic is not on. So the mic is on the table. So if my sound wasn't great, now you know why. Because, I forget each week to put the mic on. Joe Kasperek, friend of the channel. Welcome in, my friend. So, what do we got going on? By the way, this little guy here, which is my favorite knife, was gifted to me by my friend Joe Kasperek. And I am forever grateful. Love this knife. It's always nearby. Metal Relic channel member, welcome in, welcome in. So later we'll go and do the whole comment picker thing for the members. So make sure if you're a member that you are in, that you commented. So, gotcha. Since my teams are all out of the playoffs, I have stopped watching hockey. Kind of sad. What's up, Laser Ghost Knives? But I have been thoroughly enjoying the Knicks beating the hell out of the Philadelphia 76ers for 4 straight games and really brutalizing them. I mean, only one game was close. Actually, I'm sorry. 2 games. The first game was close. The second game was a Knicks blowout. The game before today was close for a while, and then the Knicks just turned it on. My Arc Pro Ultra that I got. It looks nice. I love the Arc Pro Ultra. There you go. Right by my side. I've got the blue one. I've also got the green. Love these. especially now that the price dropped on it. Um, I just when they went on sale, I got the Baton 4, and I'm loving this flashlight. Really kind of cool. Brown Sugar in the house. Welcome in, my friend, channel member as well. I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. They've got way more competition this year, but that's a whole nother ball game, literally. But so for everybody who's a mom out there, happy Mother's Day. And for anybody who doesn't know New York sports, Ralph Kiner was a Mets broadcaster for a billion years. He was a Hall of Fame, one of the best home run hitters of all time with the Pirates. When the Mets came into being, he became one of the Mets' main TV broadcasters. But Ralph periodically would have slip ups. So on Mother's Day, a bunch of years back, Ralph Kiner said to all the mothers in the audience, "Happy birthday." Totally screwed it up. Instead of saying Happy Mother's Day, went into history as a Ralph Kinerism. So now it's traditional on Mets broadcasts that on Mother's Day they will remind us of Ralph Kiner's faux pas. So, Wyvern Kodiak, what's up, Sam? How you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. I saw Donnie Bless. Donnie's here in the house. Laser Ghost Knives. It's all good. It's all good, Donnie. Things are going pretty well. Weird thing. When we went out hiking earlier today, hence the hiking video for the comment picker. But about an hour and a half ago, all of a sudden, I got a cramp in my left hamstring that was killing me, and it came out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from. It's just one of those things. But kind of went away pretty quick, which is good because I don't know if I'd be able to sit here comfortably if it had stayed. You know, but hope everybody's doing well. You know, feeling pretty good myself. Um, we're back at it this week. We got through the tough 2 weeks at work. My mind is in a much better place because I don't feel like I'm getting beaten up constantly. It was a rough couple of weeks at work. And honestly, I was so worn out. I couldn't do videos. I just, my content wasn't there. I didn't do a lot of it. And I apologize for that. But we are good. We've got videos already recorded and ready to go. So, Matt Maurer, hello there, my friend. How are you? So that's kind of cool. Like I said, we have stuff ready to go in the tank. So we got some videos coming out I think you're going to like. And let's start talking about some stuff that came in because we got a bunch of stuff in this last week. Some of it I showed you kind of a quick preview last Wednesday, but you know, Neil McKenzie, channel member, he has entered the chat. Welcome in, my friend. So let's talk about some stuff that came in. Obviously, I just showed you guys the Olight Baton 4. These are like $80 or so. Obviously, did it when they went into the sale when they first released, so I got the better price on it. And then I had Olight coupons and a credit, so it really brought the price down. But this guy here is a flashlight that came in from a Lone Fire. And I'm going to tell you, this is pretty comparable to this. Size is a little different. It's a little bigger, but 1800 lumens. Simple AI that works really well. Here you got one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settings. Let's see. Right? Yeah. Simple 5 settings. 1, 2, oops. And then you've got your strobe. Yeah. 5 settings. 1800 lumens. I put these as a, whatchamacallit. I had put this as a deal of the week, and I honestly don't remember what I paid for it, but it was only like, these were on sale for like $10. And honestly, it's pretty damn comparable. So if you're looking for an inexpensive EDC light, this company here called, what is it again? Alone Fire. I would recommend this. Really great deal on that. You know, Lion Not Sheep in the house, channel member, welcome in, welcome in. Glad you're here. So that was kind of a cool thing. Nice find on there that I posted for everybody to take a look at. But let's take a look at some of the knives that had come in. First one, oh, and then I think I showed this the last show, but this is a company that I'm starting to work with, collaborate with, called uh, Tonnage. And this is very similar in style to to an Arkfeld, but at a much lower price point. And it gives you a front side light. Let's see if I can remember the AI. Yep. So you've got on the front side, you've got your red flashlight, you've got your strobes. Let's see if I can get UV light on the front. Then turn that off, and you've got your laser, which I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the camera, but you've got your laser, right? Then you've got your widespread light, and these are in two colorways. You've got a yellow, and then you've got a white. And there's multiple power levels. And these come in, and I don't honestly remember the price point. I have to look it up because was looking at it when I was doing the video. And I don't remember the price, but these come in at a really great price point. So, and like I said, they've got that UV light built in, which is really nice, especially like if you have some glow in the dark, kind of things right there. See how well that works, even though we're, in light, but still really nice feature. We'll turn that off. So that's what came in as far as flashlights go, you know. Stacy Bolsterblades, hello there. Welcome in. Miranda Keith, welcome in. Hello there, channel member. Appreciate you being here. On the Edge EDC, channel member. I appreciate you being here as well. So let's talk about some knives. I got this little guy that I haven't even opened yet. And I would never generally buy a Smith & Wesson knife because they're not good. But I bought this one. This is the Drive folding knife. It's a little keychain knife. It's a frame lock. Kind of cool for what it is. Has a little bottle opener on it. It's all of 1¼ inches, right? It runs on ball bearings. Overall, it's a 3¼ inch knife, but place for a keychain, just a nice little knife to put on a keychain. So, and these were like less than $10. They were at Tractor Supply for less than $10. And I was like, let me grab one. It's like, how bad could it be for less than $10 to throw in a keychain? If you're doing like a little keychain setup, which I have done those in the past, like full keychain carry, you know. So next up is a knife that came today from Amazon. And it's by a company called what's it called? Savegar? I don't know. But Savegar. That's it, Savegar. And it's a fixed blade. These were at like a $30 price point, but they're currently on sale. I put this up again as a bargain knife, as an Amazon alert deal. These are selling for $15. So I was like, let's take a chance. Well, this is what came in. It's a nice size D2 blade, full tang, with could be used as a window breaker there. It's not necessarily pointy, but it could be because it's a full tang. Place for a lanyard. If you see, it's got a grippy texture. It's not G10. I thought it was because, and I started to realize as I felt it, this is an FRN. And that's what they said it was. But I thought maybe because of the way it felt that it was, G10. It's not. D2 steel. They do throw their logo pretty prominently on there, but it's a nice blade and it's got some amazing jimping on top. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that jimping? Spreads way out, so you can get a nice control. It feels really great in the hand. Now, the sheath for this thing is it's an injection molded plastic sheath, but what do you expect for a $15 price point? But the clip that it comes with is really a nice clip. It's a little wide. I dropped this in the pocket earlier just to test it, and it actually holds really well. And what's nice is it can be flipped over to either side. You can put it in a scout carry position. So not bad. Now I haven't cut anything with it yet because it literally just showed up this afternoon and I just pulled it out. And one thing I liked about it is it wasn't covered in a crap ton of oil, which sometimes happens when you get blades from that come in from China. Now, it doesn't actually say it's made in China. It doesn't actually say where it's made at all. But oh no, it does. On the box itself, it says made in China, but it doesn't say it on the blade. Now, the box does have several warnings. It has a warning: hand injury risk, caution, risk of asphyxiation. Don't know how. I mean, it came in a little plastic bag, but if you get asphyxiated with that, you've got a problem. So, Jesse, welcome in. Welcome in. So then you also have your keep it out of reach of children, because I don't know about all you, but I go around handing knives to children all the time. And then we have your packing is recyclable, which no duh, it's cardboard. Bing. But honestly, I think for $15, the sale price, I think you could do a lot worse, you know, but not bad. I like the size of it, you know, and the sheath, man, it locks in there really well. Like, yeah, it's a plastic sheath, you know, but oh, helps if I put it in right side up. But listen to this, locks right in, and there's no rattle whatsoever. Just really nice for the money. Doyle Ammo, hello there. Welcome in. But $15, I'm not mad at it. You know, it feels good. It also has some interesting, it's got jimping on the back end, which I guess if you're in a reverse grip, which I would never reverse grip like that. I would always reverse grip like this, but that's just me. Again, I was explaining a couple weeks ago. When you're in that defensive stance, you come across, cut across the person's face, and then you're in the motion to stab down. So that's why I would never actually hold it like that, you know. But so I don't know if that rear jimping really does any good, but that's just me, you know. But like I said, for $15, you could do a lot worse. Throw this in the glove compartment, backup knife, you know. It is, I will say that it is very thin, you know. But like I said, I love finding these, you know, inexpensive, affordable knives and kind of passing it along when I can. So the next knife that came in was from a company that I've done videos with and worked with many times, and that's Free Tiger. Ron Crow in the house, Crow's Blades. If you're not subscribed to Ron, go check his channel out. He's got a good channel. He does great live every week, and sometimes he even does those late night lives when Big Red can't go on. Basically at the same time I jump on, but whatever, that's cool. But Ron does some really good stuff over there. Ron, I did get your message about that knife, about the sharpening. I'm going to talk to you about that. Going a different direction. So this is a knife by Free Tiger. This is a knife that is either hasn't hit the Amazon link yet or just got there. I love this thing. I'm going to be honest. Free Tiger has always made really good knives at a great price point. So this one is a D2 steel, and you've got that coated rose gold, kind of copper. I don't know what kind of color you look at it. Maybe even a brown. I don't know. You've got the nice rose gold thumb stud right there. And you've got that really nice G10. Feels really nice in the hand. You've got some really good jimping on top right here. That feels really nice. It actually is functional. It grabs my thumb the way I want it to. It's a liner lock with nice access to the liner. Easy to one hand operate. Thumb stud works great. The one thing I have found with Free Tiger, they make inexpensive knives, but the action on these, and I don't know who their OEM is, but the action on these is always really good. The detent works well. So, William Hornbustle, welcome in, my friend. How are you? Robert Willoughby, welcome in. So, highly recommend this. There's going to be a full video coming out on this because, again, they sent this to me to review, and I'm really liking it. This is now my fourth knife that they've sent me, and they gave me a choice. This also came in a black with a satin blade, but I don't have anything that looks like this at all in my collection. So I was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to ask them for this one, and they sent it, and man, I like it. You know, the only complaint that I'm going to tell you that I have right now is the clip is not a deep carry clip, and it's not reversible. I would rather have had them move this clip up and make where that screw is right there. They could have made that, integrated that, excuse me, into the clip and make it a deep carry. But I think it's a minor nitpick. What I do like is you do have the Free Tiger logo right there. But for guys who hate branding, there's no other writing on it other than the model number, which is behind the thumb stud. So, Baptism, hello there. Welcome in, my friend. So really nice. Like I said, it sounds good. It deploys really, really well and easy to operate with one hand. Rides on bearings, so you could probably throw skiff bearings in here, but honestly, I don't think it would make much of a difference. Oh, and what's really nice is they put some fantastic jimping on the flipper tab. So, shameless plug. Yes, yes. Absolutely. Wyvern, drop the link in there to your website as well. You're a mod, you can do that. So yes, the Gakkus is going on sale on the 20th, the pre-order. Their pre-order is going to run for 30 days, so make sure you get in on it. It's going to be worth it. Definitely going to be worth it. I have full faith. I've seen Sam demonstrate the knife. I've seen some people's initial reactions. It looks like a home run to me. Addicted to Blades 2, welcome in. Hello there. I'm really looking forward to it. As you guys know, I don't necessarily like to drop a lot of money on high-end knives. That's one I'm going to be dropping money on. I think it's worth it. I like the design. So I'm right there. Roger Baker, welcome in, channel member. So let's move on to the next knife that came in. The next two knives that came in. They kind of go together. And this guy here is another fixed blade, but this is the Cold Steel SRK Compact. Love, love, love this knife. Rubberized handle, big place for a lanyard right there. This is the compact model, and this one has like a 5.5-inch blade. So the large size, I don't think I'd want to go with unless I was like really bushcrafting with it. But I think for bushcrafting, there are other options. But I think this is a great camp knife. It's just got a great size. I love the guard there and the rubberized handle and that texturing. This thing just grips all day. And doesn't have any jimping, but I really don't think you need it with this because it's so grippy. Even my thumb choked up right there still is grabbing part of the rubber handle and just locking in place. Reverse grip, no problem. You know, you can kind of it's decently light. I don't remember what the weight is on this, but it's not very heavy. You know, but absolutely love this knife. Of course, it's Cold Steel, so Cold Steel will throw the name big on that side, or the model on that side, and then on the back side, your Cold Steel. Now, this one, I don't remember the steel type. Let's see if I can see it. I don't remember the steel type on this, to be honest. But it's a carbon steel. It's a good steel. It's not, it's not a Magna Cut, or they do make the larger version like an S35 VN. But for what I'm going to use this for, this is this is perfect, you know. And comes with a really cool sheath. Yes, it's a FRN sheath, but it has a lot of different ways, mounting points. And then this part, if you don't want to use the dangler, okay, comes off completely. So you don't have to use that. And the sheath, like all cold steel sheaths, it locks that thing in there. No rattle, no nothing. Just really kind of cool. So totally dig this. And I wanted this knife for a really long time. And for some reason, every time I would say I want to get it, I would just kind of put it in the cart and then forget about it, take it out of the cart and order something else. But I was like, no, I'm going to finally order it. I haven't ordered a lot of knives lately, but I decided I wanted to order it and get it. So, so the next knife that went with that was on sale on Amazon, and that is the Cold Steel Code 4 S35 VN Tanto blade, thumb stud deployable. You have your aluminum handles. It's a thin guy, so it doesn't take up much room in the hand at all. It's fairly light, coming in at just about 4 ounces. You've got your triad lock. So this thing, you can do just about anything with this. The triad lock makes this thing as solid, or almost, never going to be as solid, but almost as solid as a fixed blade. You're going to be able to baton with this, feather stick, all that good stuff. And then it's just going to lock in place. As always, with your triad lock, there is no side to side movement, no up and down. It just locks. Now, what does that mean? It's not a fidget monster. You're not going to be able to sit there in one hand, flick it and open it. I mean, you can flick it with one hand, no problem. And it sounds great. But you're not going to be able to do it like safely. Press that and bring it down, because one, I did it in the video and you can't tell from the short video I did, but when I closed it right on my finger and cut myself open, because, why not? The blade now owns me. But these were on sale for $66, I think, on Amazon. So it came down between this and the Recon in S35E, and the Recon was $77, and I was just like, I knew so many people had great things to say about this one, as well as the Recon. I just went with this one. I rolled with it, and I really like it. Again, not a fidget monster, never going to be. It's going to be a hard work knife that you can do everything with. Does not have jimping, surprisingly. They put some aesthetic jimping here on the handle, but it really doesn't lock you in at all. But I don't think you need to on this, because of the way the lock works and because of the ergos. You just lock right in there. You're not going to slide, you know. Right. Yep, William. Hmm. So that's a pair that came in. Then another pair of knives, matching knives, came in, so to speak. And that is this guy here. This is the Kubi Durock. These things are, if you go to White Mountain Knives and you put these in the cart, they'll come up with a ridiculously low sale price. And then you can use one of somebody's discount codes, whether it be Lefty, whether it be DBD, or any of them. I don't have a 10% discount code. I've never actually asked them. Maybe I should. Um, but what a great knife. Great jimping. The blade shape there reminds me a lot of, do I have it nearby? I don't. But it reminds me a lot of my Demko. you know, kind of reminds me of that, but not having a shark lock, but just having a liner lock. But great flipper on there with some great jimping. You've also got the thumb hole right there. Nice 4-finger grip, but not too big of a knife. Really nice EDC, deep carry, deep carry. Let's see if you can see that. Deep carry, reversible pocket clip. And this is in 14C28N. Took me a second, I didn't remember. But to go with that, I ordered a Kubi fixed blade. That is also on White Mountain. And these are dirt cheap as well. When you put them in a cart, I think they come to like 28 bucks, maybe a little bit more, but around there. But this is the Kubi Basilic. And this is also in 1428N blade steel. Wait a second. Hold on. I could be wrong on this one. I'm sorry, I got them confused. This one is AUS 10. This one is AUS 10 steel. Sorry, not 14C28, AUS 10. I got them backwards in my head. But this is the Kubi Basilic. This thing is a monster of a knife. Great jimping on that kind of raised harpoon style there. Finger choil right there, but you could get your full 4 fingers and more on the back of that. Great Kydex sheet, taco style. Comes with a tech lock. Locks in here really well. Another one, no movement. These are companies who are getting the knives correct. And they had this in other colors, but I just wanted to go with the red and black colorway to match the other one, you know. But Bobtism, chunk. It's almost like you're a mind reader. And I'll explain why in a second. But we'll get to that later. Actually, we'll get to that later. So, what am I missing? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat that I should know about. I need some prayers. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Talk to a surgeon. Everybody, if you are a person who believes in prayer, please send your prayers out to On the Edge EDC. If you're a person who doesn't necessarily believe in prayer, please send positive thoughts out that way. Let's hope that he gets through this, you know. But man, I'm sorry to hear that. But like I said, keep On the Edge and his brother in your prayers, please. If, like I said, if you pray, if you're more spiritual, send positive thoughts. Just keep the thoughts positive. It works. So then we will talk about another knife. Cancer does suck. That's why I wear. You guys know I wear the breast cancer awareness on my wrist every day to support my sister-in-law and others also who have cancer. You know, it never leaves my wrist because it's something I believe in. It's a worthy cause. And both my parents had cancer, so when they were alive, both of them had cancer. So I'm always at risk. But I try to dwell on the positive and not worry about it so much, you know. But all right. Let's move on from that. Like I said, everybody just show your support. Greatly appreciated. So let's move on to something else that had come in. And that is this here, the Swiss Tech Lodern fire making kit. This is a pretty impressive little kit. It's going to be a video on this, but this video is going to be coming out and oh, very cool. Very cool Wyvern Kodiak. But this kit here comes with a fixed blade knife, a tinder scraper, your magnesium block and ferro rod, a telescopic bellows, pocket bellows, a flint wheel and spark tool, and it comes with an everyday carry pouch. But within the flint wheel and sparking tool, there are some um, tinder tabs in there. So I haven't quite opened this yet because this is going to get unboxed with another kit that I'm going to be picking up and comparing the two. Tractor Supply Company has a fire starting kit as well. So I'm going to be picking that one up and then I'm going to compare the two. But the presentation on these boxes is excellent. And the knife itself, it's a weird kind of looking knife. I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but it's just a weird looking knife, you know. Um yeah. So we're gonna go, like I said, we're gonna compare these. And these sets come in at 30 bucks. The set at Tractor Supply is only like 13 bucks. So I don't expect it to be an even matchup, but it's gonna be something, to check out, compare the two. Now that I'm getting outside more, it's gonna be fun to go out and play with fire because I love playing with fire, you know, even though the Rolling Stones told me not to. Or actually, no, they said not to mess with them because you're playing with fire. So, but yes, F cancer, 100%, 100%. So that's kind of what came in this week. Um, trying to think. Well, there is one more knife that came in. That's going to be the one we're going to be using for the giveaway. So we're going to hold off on that for a little bit. We'll reveal that after the giveaway. So, but love your KB Pioneer in full DLC. Kubi just makes fantastic stuff. Whether it's their inexpensive stuff to their expensive stuff, they make great stuff. I mean, they are one of the really quality all around companies out there. You know, there are some companies that I feel do a better job on lower price stuff, and there are some companies that do a great job on higher end stuff, but their lower end stuff kind of falls off. But Kubi kind of has a really great balancing act, like across their whole price spectrum. Everything I've ever had from them has been good to very good to great. I've never had anything bad by them, you know. Um, you know, I want to check out Sever Seven before on his show was talking about and I was in and out because I was editing video. I was also jumping back and forth to Aries live stream. Um, but he was talking about the new Migarons that you can kind of customize and at a decent price, which is really tugging at my heartstrings there because I literally ordered a knife from the Benchmade Custom Shop this week. So it's supposed to ship and be here within 7 to 10 days. We'll see. I ordered a custom Griptilian. I love my mini Griptilian. It's actually one of my favorite knives of all time, and it was my first Benchmade. And I've always said I want a full size Griptilian. And then when I was looking at the prices, I was like, you know what? You can actually get a full size Griptilian cheaper from the custom shop, depending on the options you choose, than buying a stock one from like Blade HQ or somewhere like that. Kelly's Mismatch in the house. Hello, Kelly. So I found that really interesting. So I pulled the trigger on it, and I didn't even realize that. Um, what's your take on newer? I have not seen it yet. I'm going to be honest. I have not seen it. Um, my problem is I don't really keep up with Swiss Army, not because I don't love them, but I pretty much have every Swiss Army knife I'm ever going to buy at this point. Most recently I showed everybody I bought this one for for Smokey the Bear's 80th 80th anniversary because I love Smokey the Bear so much. But I literally have every Swiss Army knife that I'm ever going to buy. So unless they come out with something totally groundbreaking, and they don't, they just kind of re-release what they have in different colorways, maybe change a gadget here and there. But and I love Swiss Army. My most beloved knife that is an heirloom is the knife that my parents gave me back in 1987, the Champion, which was the predecessor to the Swiss Champ. Still goes with me on every camping trip I ever go on, and it's going to be my most treasured knife. Knife is what 87, you know, to now, and it's still in great shape because I maintain it really well. When a grip two super nice, nice, Joe. When I first decided that I wanted to try Benchmade, I got the mini Griptilian because it was on a deep sale at the time. Because at the time they were actually they were going to discontinue the Griptilian line, and they announced that they were discontinuing it, and a bunch of the retailers dropped the price on it, and I think I picked it up for just over $100 at the time, and I was like, "Whoa!" I got a Benchmade, a well-known Benchmade for just over $100, and I was like, "That's a great deal." And then it disappeared. Like you couldn't get the mini grip or the Griptilian for like a good 6 months, and then all of a sudden, boom! Everybody started carrying it again. I guess they reversed field because it's such a popular knife. You know. Let's see. I'll have to take a look at that. I will have to take a look at that. Like this one is the Swiss Officer, which I kind of like, but I like a lot of the bigger um, Swiss Army knives that just have a lot of tools. You know, but what a Swiss Army nail clipper is. Oh, I've heard really great things about those. I know a lot of people carry those, um, but I don't know. You know, in fact, my nails right now are very overgrown and need to be trimmed. But yep, like, and I always, every single day, I carry, the SD Classic in some version of it. You guys see that I post my carries just about daily, and you guys see I always have it in there. So, let me switch on now. Gotcha, gotcha. On the main blade, it should say what model it is somewhere. Like I believe that's where this one says it. Let's just do a quick check. Main blade. Where art thou? There we. All right, so it's not on the smaller blade, right? No, it's on the main blade. Yeah, yeah. So the model is right here. You're not gonna be able to see it. Well, the model's actually on this side. The first side is going to say Victorinox, Swiss, and then the other side, it's right there, generally speaking. So, yep. So, what did anybody else get this week? Curious to see what everybody else got. You know. But real quick, like I said, I ordered that full size Griptilian, and I was shocked at how inexpensive it was compared to some of the models because you get an option on there, and this is going to kill some people when I say it. You get an option to use a lesser steel than the S30 or the S90. I chose to go with the D2 steel. So I wanted, because again, yeah, I could get it in a super steel, but to me, to me that what you would call it, having a super steel on the Griptilian's more about, hence the name, the grip on it and how well it works. And that's going to be like a daily user. And for a daily user, I like the edge. I want the edge retention of D2, but I don't have to worry about the corrosion factor. because I maintain my knives. And you guys know I pretty much switch out my knives all the time anyway. So I wanted the Griptilian, and I got it the way I wanted. The stud color, the handles, the clip that I wanted, the whole thing, $125 out the door. And that's from the custom shop. So that model, nope, it's not. This one is the Swiss Officer. It's not the Tinker. I have Tinkers. This is a different one. Let's see if I could get that close enough for you to see. I don't think I can. Let's turn the light a little bit. Maybe I can. This one is actually the Swiss Officer, not the Tinker. No, I didn't want the S. I didn't want the S90 or the 20. I opted for the D2. So um, it depends on the knife. I mean, they make knives in Magna Cut. They have knives in S35V. It depends on the model of Benchmade, you know. But I chose on this one, you know. Well, it depends. You can there are different options for the Griptilian. Some of them are CV20, but when you go to the custom shop, you can get, I believe, um, I want to say, I forget there were four different steel options, you know, but you know, I chose to go with the least expensive. Good night, Miranda Keith. Hopefully, you got your entry into the giveaway because you are a channel member. I don't want you to miss out. So, and again, make sure everybody that you have your what you call it, that it's gonna work. No, make sure that you get your what you call it, your entries in, because we've got a cool knife, and there may be a bonus depending on who did what. Claymore's D2 and still 250. Gotcha, gotcha. You know, like I said, I didn't even know D2 was an option. I learned about that they were offering that. I learned about it in Javon's late night live stream a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to pull the trigger on it, and I did. So yeah, Mr. Simon, I got to tell you, when I was a kid, I loved Smokey the Bear because I've always been a camper since I was a little kid. So I always identified with, hey, let's not burn down the forest, you know, sort of, you know. Tonight's giveaway, Joe, is a members only giveaway. It's the monthly members giveaway. Um, we are quickly approaching the 3,400 sub mark, in which case we're going to have a nice size regular giveaway, you know. Basically, just keep it, basically, it's wiping it down after you use it. So that way there's no moisture, which I do pretty much all the time anyway. I always have, um, what you call it, cleaning cloths on me. So after I use my knives, I clean them down every single time. Doesn't matter what steel they are. I don't like gummed up and dirty knives. So that's part of it. But I also constantly, not constantly, but periodically, every few months or so, just put a slight layer of oil on there. You know, I use the Flitz polish, you know. None for now. Hello there. Welcome in, working. That's fine. Hang out, lurk. Make sure you got your comment because we're going to hit that comment picker in a little bit. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had forest fires here in New Jersey last summer, and that got pretty scary as well. And they weren't anything like what you had out there, but they did do some damage, you know, in the sticky south. Well, it gets here, here in New Jersey in the summertime, it's humid as all hell. And I've never had a knife rust on me. Like I said, I basically just drop a drop of oil on it, run it up and down the blade, wipe it down, you know, so that there's just a slight layer. And like I said, I've never had a problem with D2 rusting, you know. The other thing I will say is if you have a knife that's D2 and it's a knife that you're going to leave in a sheath, not necessarily the greatest idea because of moisture. What you may want to do, which I find could help, is before you put it in your sheath and you store it, a little coat of oil goes a long way to prevent that from rusting. And if you're storing knives that have a leather sheath, leave them out of the leather sheath because leather traps moisture. And also, leather, when it's not used for a while, can build up that white kind of mold on it. I don't know what it's called. It's not really a mold, but it's just, you know, it gets that white, like residue that forms on leather, which just wipes right off. I mean, it just literally wipes right off. But that does horrible things to blades. So, yep. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I there was a video I did last year when I went up to the top of High Point Mountain, and I could see the wildfires in the distance. So and that looked pretty scary. That new bed glider looks amazing. Really looks amazing. And the price point is really good on that. Um, well, AEBL is a true stainless, so you don't have to worry about it as much. But I would still, before putting it into the Kydex, I would still just run a slight layer of oil over it. It's not going to hurt the blade, and it's going to prevent any type of corrosion, you know. So yeah, like even this knife, when they shipped this one, in fact, you can kind of see it. There's a little bit of oil because this was packed with so much oil in there that that I had to wipe it down. Like I can't tell you how many times, and I'm still getting a little bit of oil in the sheath, which is okay. You know, I don't know if you can see it, but there's oil right along that blade. You can kind of see it a little bit. I don't mind that because I know it's going to keep it from, you know. Yeah, I mean, 120 for that new bed lighter is amazing. You know, Mick Ranger in the house. Hello there. How you doing, buddy? Mick Ranger, it happened to you again. Your team was one loss away from the overall first pick, and you got knocked down again. So I don't know. We got 41 people in the house. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So we're not going to stay on till midnight tonight. I am going to wrap up in a little bit because one, I've got a lot of stuff to do to get ready for the week. Um, but again, did anybody else get anything this week? I really want to like. I'm always kind of like living through you guys because yes, I get knives in, but you guys seem to get some really cool stuff every week too. So oh, there is one more knife. Hold on. One more knife that came in. And this was a little guy that I found at Tractor Supply. See the nice little flag on there? This is an America 250 knife. So it's a Roper peanut knife. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but on the blade is the America 250 logo, celebrating the country's 250th anniversary with a made in China knife. But still, it's kind of cool. These are on sale at Tractor Supply for 10 bucks. I was like, why not? Roper actually makes some very good, not, no. Let's not say very good, but they make some very average, inexpensive knives. So, you know, they're not Rosecraft quality or case quality, but for a $10 knife, they do have a stop, a nice half stop that works pretty well. And they're a 440C and they come relatively sharp. They're in all the Tractor Supplies. Like I live in Jersey, so but I've been to like 3 or 4 Tractor Supplies over the last month, and they all had them. So 9.99. They're usually in that bin of knives that sits in the front, you know. Like that's not going to compare to this guy, which is Rosecraft peanut. But, you know, this one's $60. This one's $9. And in a pinch, this will do you. But oh, hold on, hold on. None for now. You just reminded me. That's the other knife that came in. I forgot about it because I was carrying that today and put it in today's video. That also came in this week. The Rat 1.5 in MagnaCut. MagnaCut that tested Taylor Hardness tested this at a 63 hardness. You cannot beat MagnaCut at a 63 hardness with a beautiful G10 handle that's grippy, four-way pocket clip, liner lock that locks perfectly, thumb stud deployable, sounds great. I mean, Metal Complex just did a video on this like a couple weeks ago, and he was going all gaga over it. And you know him, he doesn't go all gaga over a lot of like inexpensive knives, but he was highly recommending this, and I've wanted it for a while. It's another one of those knives that I kept putting in the cart, taking it out, ordering something else, and I finally just said, I need this one. So I wound up buying it. J1 Newbie in the house. And Cicero, member for 9 months. You get a lightsaber salute. There is still time to become a member and get into the members giveaway. Boominati Ninja, member for 7 months. You also get a lightsaber salute. And yes, happy Mother's Day, Cicero. And yes, I say happy Mother's Day to the men in the audience too, because I'm sure all of you, like me, have been called one bad mother effer at one point. So there you go. But Boominati, you get a lightsaber salute. Love me a good lightsaber salute. So, but on the edge, EDC, member for 6 months. All right. You also get a lightsaber salute. Jim Miller, member for 9 months, says more like more like sorry MFer. Well, that too. You get a lightsaber salute. They're coming in fast and furious now. We've got Bobtism. Oh, snap. I get one too. Yes, you do. Steve Parks, with a 4-month membership, you get a lightsaber salute. Brown Sugar, member for 7 months. Great place to be. I appreciate that, Sharon. More than you know. I appreciate every week with you guys and gals. Let's get the lightsaber going. So now, if anybody's watching who's never been here before, they're like, what is that nut doing with a lightsaber? Not realizing that's our lightsaber salute for channel members. So, and don't forget, we also have the phaser salute for super chats. I see that they're redoing. I got a notification that they're going to be redoing the whole gift system and super chat system. I looked at it and was like, I don't know what they're doing, but just cut off just cut off your Vader's hands. Nice, nice. So, um, it's Dog One in the house. Hello there. I don't think I said hello to you. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, I think I missed you when you first came in, but I'm glad you're here. Lacking a green font is very disconcerting. Why do you lack a green font? Oh, because you're not a channel member. That's why. That is why. Non-channel members get the gray fonts. Channel members get either green or blue, depending on the level that they are up in, as far as the you know, Explorers Club is the blue, and the Adventurers Guild is the green. So that's why you don't have the green font or the blue font. So, but 11:03, we're all still here. JW Outdoors, welcome in, my friend. Formerly known as, what are we formerly known as? The Knife Monkey. SC. Ron Crow. Ron Crow, member for 9 months of the Explorers Club. Thanks for everything I do. I appreciate that. And that goes right back at you, buddy. Let's go. By the way, we use this for the channel members, but it's really just an excuse for me to justify having paid $60 for a toy lightsaber. Just saying. I've had this thing for a really long time, too. But, it's the channel salute. Never mind that I'm a 50, going on 50, 55, going on 56 in less than a month, and I'm still playing with toys. That's right, I play with toys. So anybody else get anything new? I know I keep asking, but nobody's telling me. No more. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to check that. But now that we went through all the fun stuff I got the ship as a gift. Oh, maybe you did get a gifted membership. That's possible. You can play with Lego all the way until you're 99 years old. It says it right on the box. But once you hit 100, you got to give it back. You can't play with Legos anymore. So, we have said JW Outdoors member for 8 months. I'm doing great. JW Outdoors, and I appreciate you asking. Very cool. Appreciate that. Who else do we have? I get a pen. Yeah, I have. I've reached out to Penrose about doing a collaboration, and I've got a responding no reply from them, which I don't get. I I don't get it, but it is what it is. Some companies I reach out to, and they're really cool about setting up collaborations. Other companies don't bother to respond. Now I wonder if there's a different channel I should be going through, not meaning YouTube channel, but like like if I should be contacting a marketing, marketing department or something. I've often tried to hit them up through Instagram. I've had a lot of success with that. I've also emailed companies through their websites. It's really hit and miss though. Came nicely packed. Very cool. It's all about the minifigs anyway. It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maintenance man. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you ordered that. That's a that I couldn't believe the deal on that. I was like, let's post that because it looks really attractive. And I've had success with some of these like $10 watches on Amazon. And when I saw that one for like 4.99, and I was like, yeah, really, I have to. I was like, I can't not get that watch and put it up for everybody to kind of take a look at, you know. Oh, I got you. I got you. I never take it personally because I know that, like, and some companies will make you wait. And what I mean by that is like Slick Knives. When I first contacted them, they're like, well, we don't really have anything new going on, but when we have our next launch, reach out to us again. And I did. I reached out to them and said, hey, I see you have some new stuff coming out. We had talked about it earlier. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Same thing with who's the other company? Tactus. Tactus, I had contacted going back beginning of last year when they had the Frontier come out, which was their Skinex lock knife that I really love, by the way. And they were like, well, we kind of sold through most of the knives and we're not really going to be promoting it again. But when we have our new knife come out, we'll hit you up. Almost a year went by and I hadn't heard anything and I hadn't even thought about them. And all of a sudden they reached out with an email and said, hey, we're ready. We have a new knife. We're ready to go. And that's how that collaboration came about, you know. But and I know too, sometimes like with certain companies, they decide, hey, we're going to work with, say, I'm just throwing this number out, not a real number. Hey, we're just going to work with 10 content providers. Um, and they'll go with those 10 and they won't do any more. And they'll see how it goes. And then next time they'll go with another 10. I had that with HX Outdoors. HX Outdoors was like, hey, we like what you did, but we're going to wait at least 6 months before we collaborate again. And they did. They waited about 6 months and then they reached out again. Meanwhile, they had drops in between because they're trying to kind of spread it out amongst different YouTubers so that way not everybody gets the same thing. And what I notice, a lot of these smaller, newer companies are willing to work with more of the smaller channels. You know, have to go to suite. Want to come in? I appreciate that, Fred, and I can't wait to hang out next Saturday. We'll figure out the final details on that, but going to be good to hang out with you again. Always a pleasure, my friend. So, yeah, looking forward to that. A day of just, a few hours just hanging out with my knife buddy, drinking coffee and BS and knives. So, and by the way, for some people who don't know Fred, which I can't believe at this point anybody doesn't know Fred, Fred is like one of the pillars of the community. This guy, he has some of the best he has one of the best knife collections around, and he is so kind to share it with so many of us so we could do content on it and whatnot. And even just hanging out, he's a wealth of knowledge. His son is probably even a bigger wealth of knowledge, which I learned recently. So both great people, and I love hanging out with Fred. So I will reach out to your friend later this week. I know we set it up for Saturday. We shouldn't set the time or place yet, but we'll go from there. So I'm pretty much free all day next Saturday, but we'll make it work. What time we got? All right. So we've got 11:11. Oh, amazing. Fred's got one of the best collections I've ever seen, you know? Well, the Celtics have already been eliminated. They got eliminated by the 76ers, and then the Knicks just swept the 76ers in four. The Knicks set NBA records today. Most points in a quarter, most 3-pointers in a half. I mean, Knicks were on fire today. They just basically it was like when a cat captures a mouse and he's got the mouse half dead, but he lets the mouse run around a little bit and smacks it down and just keeps doing that because he wants to play with the mouse. That's what the Knicks did to the 76ers today. It they didn't even show up. I mean, and the Knicks are really coming together and gelling as a team at the right time. They're finally healthy. They are, you know, his system took about 3 quarters of the season to, to work or for them to learn it. And they're just playing so well as a unit. And forget it, offensive rebounds, they're just destroying everybody. So not that everybody's into basketball, but if you are, Knicks are looking really good right now. They should take the East and go to the championship. Don't know what's going to happen in the West because Thunder may get there, but I don't think it's going to be easy because the West, those teams have been beating each other up. Where like the Knicks are sitting there, they swept in four. They're going to be rested, and whoever for either the winner of the Cavaliers in Detroit for the next round. So, and Cavaliers in Detroit are beating each other up. But yep, it's time for the Knicks, baby. Yeah, that's what I think. By the way, Mr. Simon, that is a great name. And I know people are going to look at it and not realize it's Simon, but I noticed it right away. So I love it. Absolutely love that name. All right. So it is 11:14. We're only going to stay on to 11:30. So I'm going to give everybody like another 5 minutes to make sure you have commented in the giveaway, in the members only giveaway. And if anybody wants to become a member at the last minute so they can get in the giveaway, now is the time. So, we've got something pretty cool today. And like I said, I think we're going to have some even bigger member giveaways coming up. Like I said, we're getting close to 3,400 subs. I get that one. My cat tonight, who you guys have seen on the channel a couple of times, my wife by mistake washed one of her cat toys. And so my wife pulled the laundry out, her cat toy was in the laundry, right? So my wife threw all the laundry on the bed so she could start folding and whatnot. The cat immediately noticed her toy, jumped up, grabbed it, ran across the house, dropped it, and then was smelling it like almost like this doesn't smell like me anymore. What's wrong with my toy? And she kind of looked a little sad, but then she started playing with it and all was forgiven, I guess. But man, she is like super, super like she notices everything. Now, you guys know if anybody's ever worked on watches, you know how small the spring bars are in a watch. She was outside this room. I was working at this table, working on a watch, and I shot the spring bar literally across the room. And from outside the room, she saw it, and I had no idea which direction it went. And I found her digging at it under my guitar rack over there. And I was able to reach under and grab it. And I was like, how the hell did she see it? Because she was just literally walking by the room, you know? Joining in my PayPal won't let me. Oh, I don't know, Joe. That's a PayPal thing, you know? But XOR Celtics. Yep. Let's see. Well, I can tell you, J1 Doobie, Mick roots for the New York Rangers hard. Roots for the Knicks. I'm not sure who he roots for in baseball. Mick, who do you root for in baseball? Are you a Yankees fan? I'm going to assume you're a Yankees fan. And maybe Giants in football. Seems to be the pattern. But James David, hello there. Welcome in. I miss you coming in. But All right, another 3 minutes for anybody to get into the giveaway, and then I am going to shut down the comments and bring up the comment picker. So we'll go that route. Neil McKenzie, Rangers. Yep. That's how I feel, Neil. I'm an Islanders fan. So, and I have a slight rooting interest in the Devils only because when the Devils first moved to New York or to the New York area, I know they play in Jersey. They were the third team and they were so bad when they got here, but I loved watching because I love hockey that I would root for them. Even now, I have a Devils jersey. I just don't wear it, unless I'm going to watch them play, someone other than the Islanders. But gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, but you know what? The Lions are a better team, and you had success with the Tigers. I mean, Tigers won a World Series in there, and they've been a good team on and off over the years. So Tigers aren't miserable, you know. And you had success with the Pistons. The Pistons had a lot of success over the years. Oh, they need to bring the Supersonics back to Seattle. You know, I love the Supersonics uniforms. I love the name. And they keep talking about expanding the league and bringing the Supersonics back, and they really should before they expand anywhere else because that team got robbed. Gotcha. Oh wow, that's awesome. Wh- What did I miss? Apex Carry EDC. Supposedly they are what and who's they? I'm missing this. All right, I'm going to get the comment picker up. See you kids. Talk amongst yourselves. Play nice. And let's bring up the first thing I have to go. From this point out, do not add any. Got all the box seats. Yep, absolutely. From this point out, do not add any comments on the video because I have to make the video public for a few seconds so I could add it to the comment picker. So with that being said, anybody who leaves a comment now and is not a channel member, if you win, it's not going to count. So don't bother, please. Please, please, please. Content. Members only. Members only. Let's edit that and make it public or not public. Let's do this. Make it unlisted. Save. We will grab the link. Copy. All right. Let's bring up the comment picker. Let's do this first. Pause that so I don't get unnecessary sound bleeding in. Random comment picker. I don't need ads. Members only giveaway. Okay. Let's paste new link in. There we go. Filter duplicate users. One winner. Random names. 20-second duration. And we want. Turn it up. We are going to go with the Wheel of Names. The Wheel of Names. We got 17. get YouTube comments. So it's getting the comments. It's taking an unusually long time. Why? Why is it taking? Oh, I see what it did to me. I don't like that. Let's do this. I guess I have to make it public. Public. All right. Let's copy the new link. And let's go to comment picker. Sorry, guys. I got to get a better version of this. And let's do this actually. Let's reset the page. Paste. Wheel of names. 20 seconds. 16 unique comments. Wow. We have way more than 16 channel members, but 16 of you jumped in. So let's maximize the screen. 16 members joined in. Good luck, everybody. Wheels slowing down. And the winner is KR Knives. KR Knives, interesting fact, was the very first channel member. So it's only fitting that he wins this giveaway. All right. Congratulations, KR Knives. So the knife you are getting is this one. This is the Camillus Chomp, unopened in the package. This is a liner lock 440C G10 handle. It's got the quick launch bearing system. I don't know if that means it's spring assisted or is it just, or if it's just got, a ball bearing system in it. I'm not sure. The blade itself, 2 3/4. Overall, the knife comes in at 7 inches. Looks like it has a really nice grip on that. Does not look like the clip is reversible at all. And it's got that titanium coating on the blade, which is really good. Camillus does a decent job of that. So that'll be going your way with some other goodies. Now, there is a second winner. I had posted, if anybody had watched the video to the end, I said the first person, and I said it in the video, who hashtagged I made it, which means they made it to the end of the video, was going to get a prize. And the first person who did that was Robert Jones. So Robert Jones is going to be getting a mystery prize. Not telling anybody what it is. He's getting a mystery prize for being the first one who actually watched the whole video to the end and commented with the hidden hashtag. So Robert Jones, you are a winner. KR Knives, you're a winner. And I thank everybody for showing up. The time we got right now is 11:26. So, KR Knives, I have your information, but I just may reach out to you just to verify it. And like I said, I have Robert Jones' information as well. I'm not as formal as Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. I'm not going to make you do a backflip, handstand and send me your firstborn to make sure you're the person. I know you guys. So it's going to make it easy. But congratulations. That's why it's important to watch videos to the end. It wasn't a long video. It was like 4 to 3/4 minutes, something like that. And yeah, Robert gets a prize just for watching to the end. So, but I do appreciate all the channel members, everybody who participated. There are going to be more giveaways now that we're hopefully back into the flow. It's going to be a lot more going on with the channel. I've got some cool videos coming up, and I've got more than just table down videos coming up. I got stuff that we're going to be outdoors testing stuff. So, should be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. I see people are starting to head out, and I'm actually going to head out soon too. But I do want to thank everybody. Seriously, I love all you guys and gals. I love this community. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. You ladies, man, a mom is the family accountant. She's the short order cook. She's the person who, gathers the family. Make sure that we do our homework. Moms are so underappreciated. So I want to thank all the moms out there. I lost my mom at a young age when I was in my 20s, but my mom and like I love my dad and my mom equally, but my mom was always the person that I could talk to when I had a problem and who would always sit me down and be like, "All right, this is how we're going to fix the problem." Where when I would talk to my dad was a great guy, but I would talk to my dad and say, "Hey, I got this problem." My dad would always be like, "Oh, it'll work itself out. Don't worry about it. It'll work itself out." But never gave me the means to figure out how to work it out. When my mom always did, you know, and they were just very different people. My mom was the organized one. She was the serious one, as far as holding, everything together, as far as paying the bills and all that good stuff. My dad made the money, but my wife, not my wife, my mom, right, was the one who took care of the day to day, so to speak, operations. She was the operations manager, that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I lost my mom at a young age, but my mom was the same way, you know, and made me a lot. Both of them did. They both made me who I am today, but my mom taught me respect. My mom made sure that when I was 16 years old, that I wasn't going to sit home during the summer and made me go to work so I could learn, quote unquote, the value of a dollar and how to save and, and not be lazy. She got two to right. Sometimes I'm still lazy. What are you going to do? You know, but yeah, you know, like I said, I lost my mom and my dad young, but I had my dad longer than I had my mom. So I think my mom passed away when I was 26. So, you know, but love my mom. And like I said, to all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. I appreciate all of you for everything you gals do. You know, it's just awesome. All right, folks. With that being said, as I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp and have a good night, everybody. Love you all. Talk to you next week. Bye.